Yes.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to yet another game week. Today we have Ayush on seat 1, Param on seat 2, Shakeel on seat 3, and George on seat 4. If everyone's ready, we can begin. 30 seconds for a direct and 5 seconds for a pass. Kindly have both your hands visible on screen at all times. Ayush, your first question.
Good luck,
Whose
everyone.
first name derives from the Shona word tendai, meaning to give thanks, while her middle name, Mary, plays on her mother's traditionally French middle name, Mary, using African spelling. Her stage name has always been a mononym, however. Ten more seconds.
Uh, Beyonce.
Not Beyonce. Param,
Pass.
passing to Shakeel,
Pass.
passing to George,
Pass.
passing all the way. This is Zendaya.
Rihanna.
Not Rihanna,
Oh,
Zendaya. Okay. Next question to you, Ayush. At the
What was
upcoming
the
Paris,
answer? Oh, Zendaya. Okay,
Zendaya.
sure.
At the upcoming Paris 2024 Summer Olympics, India will have representation in 16 sports. The Indian Army Sepoy, Balraj Panwar, will be India's sole representative in which sport in Paris 2024? His events will not be in Paris per se, but instead at the National Olympic Nautical Stadium of Île-de-France in Vaires-sur-Marne. Ten more seconds.
let's say rowing.
And you're right. This is rowing. And Param, you're direct. First one. One of the events in the mythological canon that led up to the Trojan War was the beauty pageant known as the Judgment of which Trojan Prince. Angered because she didn't receive an invitation to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis, Eris threw the golden apple among the crowd with the inscription to the fairest one, which prompted three goddesses to have Zeus choose among them, which he happily delegated to the said prince.
Pass.
Passes to Shakeel.
Pass.
Passes to George.
Paris.
Paris is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And Param, your next question. What are these different types of Alpay or Chinese, Amsterdam, Anglo-Dutch, Barter, Double, Best, Not Best, Brazilian, Calcutta, Candle, Double, Forward, French, Japanese, Knapsack, Traffic Light, and Yankee?
Wax.
Not that. Shakeel?
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
Pass.
George?
Auctions.
Correct. These are different types of auctions. Shakeel, your questions. First one. Behind the Bastards is a weekly comedic history podcast hosted by Robert Evans, exploring the lives of deplorable historical figures. The outfit in the image captures the lies and double crosses, secret police and explosions, a carriage chase, and even a mattress stuffed with cash behind the 1907 Tiflis bank robbery, considered the biggest, bloodiest, and most daring robbery in Georgia's history. Whose hardened crew of expropriators pulled it off?
Dillinger.
Not that. Passes to Ayush.
Pass.
Passes to Param.
Pass.
Passes to George.
Pass.
Passing all the way. This is Georgia, the country, not the US state. and it is Joseph Stalin. Okay, second question to you, Shakeel. An unusual facet of this 1987 film is that instead of actors, almost all of the parts are played by modified Barbie dolls. In particular, Todd Haynes detailed the subject of worsening anorexia by subtly whittling away at the face and arms of the Barbie doll that represents her. Who was the real-life musical subject of this film, or name the film whose title is derived from a hit 1971 song? Ten more seconds.
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
Pass.
Passes to Param. Passing to George.
This is Karen Carpenter.
Correct. This is Karen Carpenter, the movie being Superstar, the Karen Carpenter story. George, your directs, first one. Shown here is which actress essaying one of her three roles for a 2018 film, aided by Mark Collier's makeup genius. In these three roles, director Luca Guadagnino saw the three Freudian archetypes. Blank, who looks more or less like the actress, is the ego. Mother Marcos, a monstrous figure introduced at the end of the film, is the id. And elderly psychoanalyst Joseph Klemperer, shown here, represented the superego. Ten more seconds.
Meryl Streep.
Not Meryl Streep. Ayush?
Tilda Swinton.
Correct. This is Tilda Swinton, and the movie is Suspiria.
Hmm.
George, your second question. Which Caribbean island is divided roughly 60-40 between France and the Netherlands? It is commonly believed that Christopher Columbus named this island in honor of Saint Blanc of Tours when he encountered it on his second voyage. Heralded as the patron saint of the Third Republic, we have this saint to thank for at least a couple of rebellious nomenclatures separated by a few centuries.
Saint Martin or Saint Martin.
Correct. This is Saint Martin or Saint Martin. And the reason is the Martin Luther, both of them were named after Saint Martin. Okay, second round, Ayush, your first question. This is a video. Which Nobel winner is seen here explaining the false consensus effect often seen in sporting auctions?
There's another finding in psychology. It's called the false consensus effect, which is people think everybody is just like us. And so the teams go through this, and they're all petrified that the player they're in love with, everybody else is also in love with, and they're all going to take him if they don't take him right away with this very high pick. And so it's decision making under uncertainty, and this year the uncertainty is greater than ever.
Starting your time.
And Kip Thorne.
Not Kip Thorne. Param?
Pass.
Passes to Shakeel.
Pass.
Passes to George.
Pass.
Passing all the way. This is Richard Thaler.
Ah, fuck. Am I not guessing today? Shit.
And Ayush, your second. Earlier this month, who was sworn in as the Prime Minister of the UK after leading the Labour Party to a massive electoral victory? The former Director of Public Prosecutions was incidentally named after Labour Party founder Hardy.
Starmer.
Starmer is good. Sir Keir Starmer. Param, your direct, first one. The New York leg of the T20 World Cup in USA and West Indies was held in a modular stadium built for the occasion. The stadium was located in Nassau County in a 930-acre park named for which American president from 1953 till 1961, also famous for supervising the invasion of Normandy.
Eisenhower.
Correct. This is Dwight Eisenhower. Second question. As an untranslatable product name can delay a global marketing campaign before it even starts. American Motors made this mistake in the early 1970s by naming its mid-size car What. Although the name was intended to conjure images of courage and strength, it may have been a little too aggressive for Spanish-speaking customers. In Spanish, the word means killer. Ten more seconds.
Pass.
Passes to Shakeel.
Assassino.
Not that. Ayush.
I'll pass.
Passing to George.
Matador.
Matador is the answer. And Shakeel, your directs. First one. Designed to mimic the curving shape of a bicycle handlebar, this chair, the first made from tubular steel, has been a design staple since Marcel Breuer first constructed it. One of the best examples of Bauhaus design, furniture company Knoll, who owns the design, states that this chair was named for which abstract painting pioneer and colleague of Breuer's at the Bauhaus School? Ten more seconds.
Pollock.
Not Pollock. Param.
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
Pass.
Passing to George.
Klimt.
Not Klimt. This is Vasily Kandinsky.
Linsky.
Shakeel, your second. Arjuna Award winners Shubhankar Sharma and Gaganjeet Bhullar will be the two men representing India in Paris 2024 in which sport? As the venue is outdoors, spectators should check the weather forecast beforehand so that they can equip themselves accordingly. Wide-brimmed hat, sun cream, sunglasses, small folding umbrella, water bottles, etc. They are also advised to bring comfortable walking shoes.
Golf.
Correct. This is golf. And George, your question. When Procter & Gamble started selling its Pampers diapers in Japan, the packaging featured an image of what delivering a baby. While that imagery may have worked in the US, it never caught on with Japanese parents, as the tale of a blank delivering a baby to parents isn't part of Japanese folklore. Their stories involve giant floating peaches bringing babies to awaiting parents.
Stork.
Right. Stork bringing the baby. Second question. The Labour Party victory in the 2024 UK elections comes exactly a century after which founder of the Labour Party became the first Labour Prime Minister, leading a minority government for 9 months in 1924. He would go on to serve once again from 1929 to 35, and 2 years after that, be the only British Prime Minister till date to die outside the UK.
Ramsay MacDonald.
Correct. This is James Ramsay MacDonald. Third round, Ayush, your first question. Which term is speculated to originate from a term meaning farmhand? Bill Bryson suggests in Made in America in 1998 that it might come from a railroad greeting or a syllabic abbreviation of homeward bound.
Obo.
Correct. This is hobo. Second question. David McCullough's Pulitzer-winning biography of which American president quoted him as saying, if leaders of simple cricket clubs could be called presidents, the leader of a new nation might be called something more grand. The 2008 HBO miniseries adaptation has led recent editions of the biography to prominently feature the picture of actor Paul Giamatti rather than the president himself.
Chester.
Not Chester. Param.
Non-com.
Passing to Shakeel.
John Adams.
Correct. This is John Adams. And Param, you're direct. First one. Which term originally appeared in a joint paper between Rose Clance and Suzanne Imes titled The Blank Blank in High Achieving Women, Dynamics and Therapeutic Intervention in 1978. The paper described how many women attribute successes to external forces that have nothing to do with their skill, intelligence, or achievements. Ten more seconds.
Masculine support.
Not that. Ayush
I'll pass.
passes to Shakeel.
Lady Luck.
Not Lady Luck. George.
Imposter syndrome.
Correct. This is imposter syndrome. And Param, your second question. This is a bird's eye view of a site that became infamous for a malicious and outrageous wrongdoing and inspiring the nomenclature of countless other scandals in the future. ID this site, whose Google Earth satellite image is shown here. Ten more seconds.
Let's go with Notre Dame. Oh, not right.
Answer, please.
Notre Dame.
Not that. Ayush.
The Watergate site.
Yeah, Watergate Complex, Watergate Hotel. And Shakeel, your question. What auction phenomenon was first addressed in 1971 by Atlantic Richfield Petroleum Engineers? Thus, if an oil field had an actual intrinsic value of $10 million, oil companies might guess its value to be anywhere from $5 to $20 million. The company who wrongly estimated at $20 million and placed a bid at that level would win the auction and later find that it was not worth as much.
I'll pass.
Passing to Param.
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
Have a non-comp. Pass.
George.
Pass.
What's a
Is
non-comp?
it something like black box?
Not black box. This one's called Winner's Curse. Shakeel, your second. Who were these bumpers with dual pointed chrome projections on the front ends of cars named after in the 1950s? A mononymous sex symbol of the time, the answer should not be confused with a marketing model for defining advertising goals for measured advertising results. Ten more seconds. Answer,
Pass,
please.
pass.
Passes to Param.
Can't recall. Pass.
Ayush.
I have a guess, but I'll pass.
Passes to George.
Pass.
What's the guess, Ayush?
Dagmar or something. This
Dagmar
acronym.
was the answer.
That
Ah, damn it.
The
Okay.
acronym for
Just like that.
the thing.
Yeah.
It was literally there in the question.
Yeah.
So,
But I was not sure. So
yeah, no worries. And George, you're direct. First one. Many theories behind this movie's sickly baby include it being made from an embalmed calf or lamb fetus. And the sickly baby isn't the only memorable puppet effect in the film. Witness the man-made chickens that our bewildered hero, Henry, is served at dinner by his fiance's father. Identify the 1977 film in which you come across these puppets. 10 more seconds.
The Exorcist.
Not that. Param?
Pass.
Ayush?
Is it Eraserhead?
It is Razorhead. And George, your second question. Hobo slangs are fascinating. In hobo slang, what does dog in it refer to? As a clue, the term would come in handy during intercity travels and involves using entities named after the Canis lupus familiaris.
Stowing away on chains.
Not that, Param.
I have a non-com. I'll take a non-com.
Okay, Ayush.
Is it using Greyhound buses?
Correct. This is traveling on Greyhound buses. Canis lupus familiaris is Greyhound.
Yeah.
And Ayush, fourth round, your first question. One of the three contestants that claimed the golden apple was which goddess who attempted to bribe Paris by offering him the chance to become the king of Europe and Asia? Patron of marriage, women, and family, the goddess in question is the sister and wife of Zeus.
Hera?
Hera is right. Next question. The National Anti-Vaccination League, NAVL, was a British anti-vaccination organization that was formed in 1896. Among the leading voices of the anti-vaccine movement of the late 19th and early 20th century was which playwright winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925? According to Evans, he said that vaccination is nothing short of attempted murder.
I'll just guess GB Shaw.
Correct. This is George Bernard Shaw. And Param, your question. Makeup greats Rick Baker and David Leroy Anderson picked up an Oscar statuette for Best Makeup for turning comedian Eddie Murphy into 7 different characters, all distinct from the next in which 1996 film?
Pass.
Passes to Shakeel.
Shit. Pass.
Into Ayush.
I have a non-com.
Passes to George.
The Nutty Professor.
Ah,
Correct.
damn it.
The Nutty
That's the one.
Professor.
Yes.
Param, your second. In Paris 2024, Ankita Bhakat, Deepika Kumari, and Bhajan Kaur will be the women representing India in which sport? Their events will be held at the Hotel des Invalides, English translates to House of Invalids, a complex of buildings in the 7th arrondissement relating to the military history of France.
Archer.
Correct. These are archers from the Indian national team. Shakeel, your question. This cliche originated with vagabonds and migratory workers of the Depression. Plastic shopping bags hadn't been yet invented, so hobos did something to make it easy to carry their meager belongings. What did they do, which soon enough became a symbol cartoonists used to identify a child as a runaway, as in Norman Rockwell's famous 1958 Saturday Evening Post cover titled The Runaway? Ten more seconds.
No idea. Pass.
Passes to Param.
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
I'll pass.
Passes to George.
Is this tying them up in a handkerchief to make a bindle?
Yeah, bindle is right. So carrying your belongings in a bindle or a hobo stick. This is the painting in question. And Shakeel, your second. Second of the 3 contestants in the mythological beauty pageant was which goddess associated with wisdom, warfare, and handicraft? Daughter of Zeus and Metis, who exited Zeus's head fully armed, she offered Paris wisdom and skill in war.
Athena?
Correct. This is Athena. Second, George, your 2 questions. Which term originally appeared in feminist film theorist Laura Mulvey's essay, Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema, in 1975 to talk about the way women were often depicted in films solely for the pleasure of heterosexual men on screen or in the audience. The term was meant to describe why women often had no standalone narrative arcs of their own.
The male gaze.
Correct. This is the male gaze. And your second question. This is the bird's eye view of an island which was home to the namesake facility that was active from 1934 till 1963. It once contained some of the most dangerous people in the country. ID this facility whose Google Earth satellite image is shown here.
Alcatraz prison.
Yeah, that's right. This is Alcatraz in US. And fifth round, Ayush, your first question. Named after the massif of mountains in northeastern New York, which chairs, invented by Thomas Lee between 1900 and 1903, were popularized in nearby tuberculosis sanatoriums, where they were favored for the way the armrest helped open up the sitter's chest. A signature of American vacation homes, these are now often made by injection molding.
Catskills.
Not that one, Param.
Pass. But I was going to say Catskill.
Pass.
Passes to George.
Pass.
Passing all the way. This one's called Adirondack
Yeah,
chairs.
that's the other range.
And Ayush, your second. Which Caribbean island nation is named after a Roman Christian martyr based out of Syracuse, who died during the Diocletianic persecution? The emblem of eyes on a cup or plate associated with this saint reflects popular devotion to them as the protector of sight because of their name. Ten more seconds.
St. George's. St. George.
Not that. Param?
Saint Vincent.
Not Saint Vincent. Shakeel?
Pass.
Passes to George.
St. Lucia.
Saint Lucia is the answer. Lucia derives from lux, meaning light. Param, your two questions. A character played by Zendaya has a name that fittingly translates to God's grace or He has favored me. Portrayed by Sean Young in the 1984 film and Barbara Kochtova in the 2000 and 2003 miniseries, which character is this?
Pass.
Passes to Shakeel.
This is shit. Chani.
Chani is right. Chani from Dune.
Dune. Yeah.
And Param, your second question. Which informal noun or slang denotes an inflatable life jacket, originally as issued to the Royal Air Force aviators during the Second World War? The nickname originated because someone wearing the inflated life preserver often appeared to be as large-breasted as a certain Hollywood actress.
Marilyn Monroe.
Not Monroe. Shakeel?
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
I have a non-comp.
Passes to George.
Pass.
What's a non-comp, Ayush?
Is it Bridget Bardot?
Not Bridget Bardot. This is Mae West.
Yes.
Mary
Oh,
Jane
right.
May.
Second World War. Yeah.
And Shakeel, your question. Jeremy Woodhead, Oscar nominated for makeup and hairstyling, transformed Renée Zellweger into which Reborn star in 2019, with all integrity and prosthetic intact as shown. She won her second Oscar for her efforts. Ten more seconds.
Pass.
Passes to Param.
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
Judy Garland.
Correct. This is Judy Garland from the movie Judy. And Shakeel, your second question. Which Caribbean country is named after the proto-martyr of Spain and a Spanish city? La Soufriere, an active volcano on this island, has had 5 explosive eruptions during the recorded historical period. And shown is a GW Turner's depiction of the eruption on 30th of April, 1812.
Pass.
Passes to Param.
Pass.
Ayush,
Grenada.
not Grenada. George,
Dominica.
not that either. This
Mhm.
is, okay, 1 second. What did I do? Yeah, George said wrong. Okay. This is Saint Vincent and the
And the
Grenadines.
This is
Grenadine.
same. Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Damn it. Yeah, I was
Same,
thinking
same.
of the
Oh,
same thing, Grenada, but yeah, okay.
Okay.
Save it for
Fifth
the last one.
round, George, your 2 questions. Pierre Jeanneret designed these cane and wood chairs in the 1950s for a set of administrative buildings in which Indian capital city? These are some of the most sought after by vintage collectors today, and even Kourtney Kardashian has one in her home. Ten more seconds.
Mumbai.
Answer. Not Mumbai. Param.
Lucknow.
Not Lucknow. Shakeel.
pass.
Passes to Ayush.
Pass.
Okay, so this is a
Calcutta.
Frenchman's capital design, which is Chandigarh. He was the cousin of Le Corbusier. All right, George, your second. Referred to as the cocaine godmother and Black Widow by Evans in his podcast, who is widely considered the first female drug lord in history. She became a prominent figure in the cocaine-based drug trade between Medellin, New York, and Miami during the 1970s.
Griselda Blanco.
Griselda alone was good enough, but yeah, perfect. Sixth round, Ayush, your first question. Which term was coined by British psychologists Michelle K. Ryan and S.A. Haslan in response to a statement made in a UK newspaper that said women in leadership positions have a negative impact on a company's performance? Ryan and Haslan checked the top 100 companies listed on the LSE and found that companies experiencing a downturn were more likely to bring a woman in during the times of turmoil, not that women were the cause of the initial issues. Ten more seconds.
Uh, Pass, I'll pass.
Passes to Param.
Pass.
Shakeel.
Pass.
George.
Pass.
Passing all the way. This one's called Glass Cliff, where women are promoted for likely failure. Second question. Which company got off on the wrong foot when it opened in China in the late 1980s? This was because in Beijing, the company's famous slogan translates to "Eat your fingers off."
McDonald's.
Not McDonald's, Param.
KFC.
KFC, finger licking good.
Oh, yes.
And Param, your directs. First one. You see lead puppeteer Ollie Taylor wearing which titular character's suit in this photo from last year? Taylor used mechanical hands with finger pulls to move the character's extended sloth-like arms.
Pass.
Passes to Shakeel.
Pass.
Ayush.
I'll pass.
Passes to George.
Is this the alien from the Alien franchise?
Not the alien. This is Eric from Netflix, where Benedict had a role to play. And Param, your second question. The longest serving leader of the Labour Party from 1935 till 1955, who led the party to a landslide victory in 1945 on a post war recovery platform, with his government then going on to establish the National Health Service. His foreign policy focused on decolonization efforts, leading to the independence of India, Burma, and Ceylon, among other former colonies.
Churchill.
Not Churchill. Shakeel.
Attlee.
Attlee is the answer. Clement Attlee. Shakeel, your question. He starred alongside Garbo, Liz Taylor, and Leigh, and his films include The Prisoner of Zenda, Rebecca, Dr. Jekyll, and Mr. Hyde, and Then There Were None. But in the sporting world, he is known as the Test cricketer who founded Hollywood Cricket Club and attracted David Niven, Laurence Olivier, and Boris Karloff to play cricket. Who is this multi-talented personality?
Conan Doyle.
Not Conan Doyle. Param?
Pass.
Passing to Ayush.
I'll pass.
Passing to George.
Frederick March.
Not him either. This is C. Aubrey Smith. And Shakeel, your second question. Which term originally appeared in Robin DiAngelo's 2011 article of the same name to describe the insulated environment of racial protection that white people expect to wield when faced with racism? She explained how the perceived removal of that protection often leads white people to react in anger at the idea that they themselves do not experience racism or that they have an inherent racial bias.
Glass bubble.
Not glass bubble. Param?
Pass.
Passes to Ayush.
White bubble.
Not white bubble. George?
White fragility.
Correct. This is white fragility. Tendency of white people who are considered the dominant culture to react defensively or dismissively when presented with evidence of racism. Right. George, your first question. Due to its bitter taste, which herb of grace is often associated with regret, repentance, and sorrow? This is an explanation for the first name of choice of a character essayed by Zendaya in an American series based on the Israeli series of the same name.
Well, I thought the character's called Rue, but I don't know if that's a herb, but that's my answer. Rue.
Rue is good. Rue is the answer. The series is Euphoria. And George, your second question. What term that borrows a Hollywood star's name refers to the act of selfishly taking or keeping something, especially a marijuana joint, instead of passing it on? It comes from this actor's most famous prop, the cigarette perpetually hanging from his lips.
Bogart.
Bogart is right. This is called bogarting. And seventh round, Ayush, your first question. Nominated for a SAG award, the Oscar-nominated makeup team of Jerry Shinkour, Mark Pilcher, and Jessica Brooks transformed Margot Robbie into which royal as shown for a 2018 film?
Queen Elizabeth.
A little bit more.
Elizabeth the First.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth I, movie being Mary, Queen of Scots. Second question. The Directors Guild in Hollywood enacted which unofficial eponymous rule which prohibited actors from firing directors and taking over themselves? This is because this actor tended to hire only directors who would defer to his wishes. He once banned Philip Kaufman from the set of The Outlaw Josie Wales. In 1984, he took control of Tightrope from Richard Tuggle, whose name remained on the credits.
Uh,
5 more seconds.
John Ford.
Not that. Param,
Pass.
Shakeel.
Eastwood.
Eastwood is right. Clint Eastwood being the actor. And Param, your directs. Which Caribbean country is named after the patron saint of travelers and carries in its name a reference to the 4th century Catholic miracle of a summertime snowfall on the Esquiline Hill in Rome? It was home to the first British and French Caribbean colonies and is hence titled the Mother Colony of the West Indies.
Curacao.
Not that. Shakeel
Pass.
passes to Ayush.
Christmas Island.
Not that either. George.
St. Kitts and Nevis.
Correct. This is Saint Kitts and Nevis. Kitts being the shortened version of Christopher. Param, your second. According to Evans at Fishburne Military School in Waynesboro, Virginia, who became the first cadet in the school's history to be court-martialed. He became involved in the sports entertainment business after a ring announcer in 1971 left abruptly and his father, Vincent, needed a replacement. He was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for television.
Al Michaels.
Not him. Shakeel?
Vince McMahon.
Correct. This is Vince McMahon from WWE. Shakeel, your first question. Which Swedish vacuum maker got a quick lesson in English slang when it introduced its product in the US? Intending to highlight its vacuum's high power, the Scandinavian company's ad campaign boasted, "Nothing sucks like a blank." Ten more seconds.
Dyson.
Not Dyson. Param
Pass.
passes to Ayush.
Yeah, I'll pass.
Passes to George.
Electrolux.
Correct. This is Electrolux from Sweden. Shakeel, your second. The youngest Prime Minister of the UK in the 20th century, who is the longest serving Labour Party PM from 97 to 2007, and is the only one to lead the party to victories in 3 consecutive general elections.
Tony Blair.
Correct. This is Sir Tony Blair. And George, your question. A sealed bid second prize auction, SBSPA, is one in which bidders submit written bids without knowing the bid of the other people in the auction. The highest bidder wins, but the price paid is the second highest bid. Who names this kind of an auction after he first described it academically in 1961, though it had been used by stamp collectors since 1893?
John Nash.
Not John Nash. Param
Pass.
passes to Shakeel.
Read it in my books.
Passing.
Vickery. Vickery.
Yeah, Vickery is the answer. Kindly be a bit more prompt on time.
Yes.
George, your second. After completing schooling at La Martiniere, Calcutta, Anush Agarwala moved to Germany to pursue his sporting dreams. That earned him gold at the 2022 Asian Games and also a spot at the Paris Olympics as India's sole representative in which sport? His event will be one of the 2 competitions, the other being modern pentathlon, to be held at the iconic Palace of Versailles.
Equestrianism.
Correct. This is equestrian. And last round, Ayush, your final 2 questions. Team America World Police was an ambitiously hilarious 2004 film made entirely with puppets. It was created by the same duo that created which animated sitcom? They developed the sitcom from two animated short films, both titled The Spirit of Christmas from 92 and 95. The second short became one of the first internet viral videos leading to the sitcom's production.
Uh, South Park.
South Park is right. And your final direct. This is the bird's eye view of a famous historical site where an attack took place that claimed the lives of more than 2,400 people. ID the site whose Google Earth satellite image is seen here. Ten more seconds.
I know, deep water, the oil rig.
Not Deepwater Horizon. Param?
The pass. I'll take a non-con.
Passing to Shakeel.
Pearl Harbor.
Pearl Harbor is right. This is the site of USS Arizona, to be very precise. And Param, your final two questions. First one. During the late 1960s, Darryl McCrae and a group of friends started doing something that got Darryl into a youth development center. While at the YDC, McCrae adopted the nickname Cornbread, and on being released, he developed a crush on Cynthia Custis. To win her attention, he did something all over North Philadelphia using the Cornbread nickname, and thus began something that has become integral to hobo culture. What exactly did Cornbread do that other artists of his ilk had not done before?
Put showered himself with honey.
Not that, Ayush.
Do you need something very specific?
Yeah, a little specific, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so he basically graffitied, but like used his name also, like the Cornbread, like used the name also.
Yeah, that's right. So he tagged his own graffitis. Before that, people just were anonymously putting graffiti. So that's the question. And Param, your final question. Designed in 1955 by the Danish architect Arne Jacobsen, a modified version of the 3107 chair with an aperture crudely cut out of the back to avoid copyright infringement is ironically more famous than the original. It was immortalized via this photograph taken at the height of which cause celebre in the 1960s, named after the Secretary of State for War in Harold Macmillan's conservative government. Ten more seconds.
I'll pass.
Passing to Shakeel.
Pass.
Ayush.
Pass.
George.
The Perfumer Scandal or Perfumer Affair.
Correct. This
Oh,
one's
nice.
Perfume Affair. Nicely done. Christine Keeler is the model. And Shakeel, your final two questions.
Perfume.
Which original character within Spider-Man franchise is essayed by Zendaya? The character's name pays homage to a recurring love interest of Spider-Man in comic books and various media.
Mary Jane.
That's right. Yeah. MJ, her character name is Michelle Joan Watson.
MJ.
And Shakeel, your final question. This is the bird's eye view of a dome-shaped structure, which was the site of an infamous historical incident. The structure you see was encased in heavy amounts of cement after that incident. ID the site whose Google Earth satellite image you see here.
Chernobyl.
Correct. This is the Chernobyl reactor covered with concrete. And George, the final two questions to you. In 1881, University of Pennsylvania, Harvard, Haverford College, Columbia, Cornell, and the College of New Jersey started the Intercollegiate Cricket Association, and it ran successfully for 44 seasons till 1921. How do we better know the College of New Jersey now?
Princeton.
Correct. This is the Princeton University. And the final question of the quiz. Last of the three goddesses who wanted to claim the title of the fairest was which goddess of love, lust, and passion? She offered Paris the most beautiful girl in the world, that is Helen of Troy, which ultimately won her the contest.
Aphrodite.
And that ends the quiz. Well played, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the
Thank you.
game. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you for reading, Abhijith.
Pleasure, guys.